Hello, this is a formal apology first before we get on to the video. I am sorry about the video on Monday. I wasn't meant to post, but because I was not wanting to disappoint, I still continue posting. Regardless, let's get on to the video. This is a Kurapika X listener fanfiction written by me, Ginger Lee, titled My Imperfect Princess. Chapter 7, Wyan's POV. I was awoken by the sound of knocking on the door before it opened. Lady Wyan, it's time to wait, Bay said, but stopped, seeing Killua as I shook him gently to wake him up, when she said, Will your friend be joining us today? Her voice hateful, but I still nodded before hearing Killua sit up and say clearly, Sis, what time is it? I looked at him, then thought to myself, I don't know. What time is it? Which made me curious too, before looking at the woman. 9:30, my lady. I looked at her, then nodded before standing up and making my way to the restroom, as Baze and Killua stayed in the room. I took a shower before putting on a side-sleeved dress with an hourglass body. As the dress reached my knees, I paired it with a pair of knee-high boots before fixing my hair into a bun, soon walking out to see the two talking. Or shall I say, aggressively speaking, before Beige got up and left the room, leaving me and Killua alone as I stared at the door. When I suddenly heard, Wyan, come over here. Snapping me out of my trance, I looked over at Killua, nodding, walking over, sitting down next to him, when he said, Turn around. I turned my back to him, as I felt him put something in my hair before I looked back and asked him, What did you put in my hair? He looked at me and hummed, getting up and bringing a mirror over to let me see. A hair stick in the bun I tied, before looking at Killua in the eyes. I like it. Where did you find it? I asked as he took the mirror back to its rightful place, and watched as my expression changed a little, before saying, It's a hair stick. I made it myself when I was at the Heavens Arena with a friend. I looked at him and opened my arms, giving him a hug. I like it, Kill. You're so skilled, I said before letting go as he walked to his bag, taking out clothes before changing in the restroom, as I waited fiddling with an embroidery I was working on. When I saw Killua walk over in a pair of new clothes, as he looked at what I was making, to see a silver cat with royal blue eyes. He looked at it and back at me. Who's that supposed to be? I looked at him, then patted his head as I answered a simple, You, while he looked at me, slightly blushing from embarrassment, and said, You're such a baka, you know. I got up as he commented, walking to my luggage and pulling out a picnic basket and a picnic blanket, as he laughed out. So we had the same idea, he said, pulling out a bag of snacks, bread, and drinks. We nodded at each other before saying picnic, as we put the things together with a book and some board games, before we walked out of the room to see one guard left. Good morning, Kurapika, I greeted, as Killua didn't say a thing. But I knew he didn't like new people, so I let it go as Kurapika replied, Good morning, my lady. Me and Baze will be your guards for today. I nodded and looked at Killua. He only let out a tisk as we walked down to the elevator, Baze already waiting on the ground floor for us. We grouped up with her and entered our car when Kurapika asked where we are off to, as I told him the location of a bakery where Kilauea's favorite chocolate cake is held, and my favorite sweets as well, before Kil looked at me with a cat-like smile. We arrived at the bakery, but it wasn't open yet, so we made our way to the diner next to the store to eat. "Welcome to Dilly's Diner. Party of?" I put up 4 fingers as she nodded, walking us to a booth. Me sitting with Kilauea while Kurapika sitting with Baze, across from us. We looked at the menu when a pasta with traditional tomato sauce caught my eye. I looked at it before looking at Kilauea to see he was staring at a picture of chocolate chip pancakes, making me giggle as he looked at me. "What?" he asked, looking at me. "You still love chocolate that much, Kil?" I said, ruffling his hair before he pouted. "Sis, stop!" he whined, pushing me off with a hand. I looked the other way, still giggling, when I saw the waitress there. She was smiling. "You two are really cute siblings. But, in other words, what will you like?" she said, with a wide smile when Kilauea said, "Chocolate chip pancakes and an apple juice," followed by me. A set 4, please." Then Beige, "Oreo waffles with a latte." Lastly, Kurapika, "French toast with a cup of coffee, please." The waitress nodded and walked off as Kilauea and I started talking about the old times for around 30 minutes or so before the waitress returned with our food. She placed down all of our food before leaving as we began eating the delicious food that, to my surprise, I never knew existed here before. After the meal, Kilauea took out some pills and looked at me, saying, "Eat them." I nodded and did it, knowing full well they were vitamins. But Beige, on the other hand, "What did you just give her? Was that drug or poison? What was it?" she said in a low tone as I shook my head at the statement, putting a hand on Kilauea's chest, preventing him from lashing out. Before saying, "No, they were my vitamin pills, actually." I looked at her with a disappointed look before we decided to leave. Kurapika paid even though I insisted as we walked out. I saw the bakery was opened and walked straight in. "Hello, sir. Do you have my order ready?" I said, walking up to him as he nodded, saying, "Yep, right here, miss." I nodded, paying before taking the sweet and salty boxes of food. As we walked out, I placed the food into the trunk before we made our way to the national park and had the best picnic ever before returning to the hotel. But the whole time, I noticed something was off about Kurapika, as if he was mad or something. But I didn't bring it up, as I thought it was a personal thing that he was going through. Hey guys, thank you for watching that video. The Discord server is linked down below. Yes, it's finished, and I should have raised the bar. But besides that, I feel much better now, and I'm so sorry for my voice keep on changing and everything. I'm trying to have more of a stable recording, but I'm still not as good as, well, in reading. So Sorry for all the kicks, and I hope you have a lovely time. Have a great day, and remember that if you ever need someone to talk to, you can just text in the Discord now. I'll try to answer as frequently as possible.